So this is Global Earth News. I know people probably know about this war that was going on most of our fucking lives. So whenever I hear about war stories or war news, I merely want to know who's making money because that's what it's all about. It's all about who got the dollars, who got all this money, that 2 trillion, $1 trillion. Who made this money? Where does money go? Because obviously it didn't go to Afghanistan because motherfuckers are hanging off planes trying to get the fuck out of there. So obviously $1 trillion, they didn't see that $1 trillion. So I'm gonna share this article right here.
Nah, they turned the $1 trillion over to the Taliban. That's what they did. All right,
So
Humvees, M16s, M4s, all Black Hawk helicopters, whole
I mean,
shebang.
warlords. That's people don't realize that warlords. I mean, crazy warlords that chop people's hands off. They got
Yo, do you
money.
remember? Do you
Um,
remember in Iron Man? Do you remember
yeah,
in Iron Man when like they had like the terrorists and
yeah,
then like all of their weapons said Stark
yeah,
Industries on it,
yeah.
right?
We just
Imagine,
had that. That
imagine
just happened.
Afghanistan declares war on some country minding their own business, and you see just American weapons like just wiping people out.
I mean, that's why people are trying to get the fuck out of Afghanistan. So I want to show you that like a lot of this money is in North Virginia too. A lot of that money went over there too. All those rich people over there who work at the Pentagon and get paid as
Why do they call it
defense.
defense?
Huh?
Why do they call it defense? There is nothing defensive about what we're seeing.
What, this headline right here?
Yeah, like why do they keep saying defense? Like
so
nobody's bringing the noise to American soil.
so this article pretty much shows you that if you were like a complete sociopath and you saw 9/11, wow, all those people falling from those buildings on 2001,
Northrop Grumman.
and then you went and bought stock. That's what you did instead. You went to buy stock. You will probably have worth $100,000 now. That's what this article is pretty much saying. A lot of people did that. A lot of people put stock in, and now they're wealthy. Now they're really wealthy because,
People died.
yeah, Americans and Afghanis and random people who had nothing to fucking do with anything.
Are they going to share some of that stock with some of the American service members that came back with some of their psyche missing, or their legs, or their arms, or some combination of the three? Are they, hey, have a couple of stocks on me, because I profited
So
from your suffering?
so this is a monstrous thing. If you purchase $10,000 worth of stock and divided them on America's top 5 defense contractors, so September 18, 2001, where people were very traumatized, people were like, they took advantage of that. And then you faithfully reinvested all the dividends, it would be worth about $97,000. That's a far greater return than was available overall in the stock market over the same period. Because if you invest that $10,000 in some random S&P 500 index fund on that same time, it will be only worth 60,000. So obviously the war is profitable. The war made a lot of money for a lot of people, and this is a sample of how much
Got a
money people are
struggling
making.
economy, start a war,
So
and then keep it going for 20 years.
so this shows you the return 900 over 900% return. This is like astronomical. So a thousands.
The return is over 9,000.
Over 1,000,
I gotta
So
ask you a question. I gotta ask you a question on the subject, man. Because I just gotta ask.
yeah,
With what we're seeing uh, from this debacle,
yeah.
and you look at the humanitarian cost of all of this, um, can you see where I would come from? Why I would be confused when everybody is blaming the Biden administration for a pullout that the Trump administration negotiated. When Trump said it's time to get out of Afghanistan and America first, what did all the MAGA heads say? That like it was like so super great, right? Why are people blaming Joe Biden for this? He inherited this mess.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I mean, that's the thing. We got what we wanted. We got out, and we know the state of empire. It literally like it's like it's we left and the bare naked truth of what happened is exposed. It's exposed to show that we didn't come there to build infrastructure. We didn't come here to build democracy. We didn't come there to build schools because we well, leaving shows that it shows that none of that is left. None of that is left for those people because obviously they're running, chasing down fucking planes, trying to get the fuck out of there. If that stuff was there, they wouldn't be running after planes and falling off planes.
Well, I gotta ask you this then. Then I gotta ask you this because here's a
We just
problem
had
that
to leave. This way it is. Like we had to leave, and he was right. We have to leave. That's the brutal truth
but
of it. We had to get the
but
fuck out of there.
but
So
the thing, but
okay.
here's where I have the problem, right? The United States military has been training their military for over 20 years.
Yeah,
And then the second that they're left to their own devices, they join the Taliban or they run,
yeah.
right?
But
What
this
the
has been
fuck
happening
else?
for. But this
It,
this this
how is this
relationship.
going to end any other way?
Yeah, this relationship has been frizzled for a long time. We already know that these defense contractors, all these different colonels and people on the ground were fudging the numbers. What was going on? It was just killing grandmothers, bombing people. I want to share this next story. I mean, if you um, there's one story about how this sergeant pretty much stopped Afghan National Police from robbing these old ladies while they were looking for a Taliban associate who had stolen U.S. military equipment, and so they had to stop the Afghan police from stealing the motorcycle, so they couldn't find the U.S. military equipment. It just shows you the quagmire mess that was there. It was like, what the fuck is going on here? And I want to show you an example of here as well. So I showed you the big money of like defense contractors and like how like they got money. It's also the corruption that happened out in Afghanistan. So you have warlords who don't give a fuck about their people either, who also got a cut from the money. So all this U.S. aid and all this kind of stuff went to like crook motherfuckers. It didn't go to the kids. It didn't go to like what they thought was going to happen. And this article was from like a few years ago. This investigative journalist went to Afghanistan, like, you built some schools, I'm gonna go check it out. And this article is crazy. It's like literally it's just like empty buildings, and like she goes across the street, and like some like kids are getting beaten with a stick by the teacher, and the teacher's like, this is how they learn, by beating them with a stick. I mean, like this is like this so like when the Taliban is walking through, like, well, we're gonna take this fucking government. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna join you. Fuck this shit. So that's what pretty much what happened. We left them to the so I
How,
don't really.
I just don't understand. First of all, I don't understand how that could have happened any other way. Like, remember Matrix Reloaded, and they
Yeah,
get in the elevator, and it's like, what did we do wrong? Like, well, you know, that encounter was going to happen that way, no matter what. So again, I'm stuck with this question: why are the MAGA heads upset and want Biden to resign because he agreed with Donald Trump, their guy? He agreed with their guy, and they want him to leave because he
yeah. Donald Trump
followed
was.
what Trump outlined in the previous administration. Like, I don't. It's very, very confusing to me.
Yeah, so this is an example of a school that was built in 2012. As you see, it's like it's
Breaking
bustling.
news.
Huh?
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott tested positive for coronavirus on
Oh, yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah. But so like, so pretty much, the coronavirus. I mean, so you see, the school was supposed to get built in 2012. There's no one there. It's all fucked up, and people are teaching kids at a local mosque nearby outside, pretty much. So the school that they wanted formal education to happen, instead they didn't finish it. So the
Cannot
kids are in the
imagine the
mosque
misery.
praying with fragile piece of paper out in the street. So outside of a building was supposed to be for them. So this is what kids were growing up in. So
I cannot imagine the terror. I mean, this again. This is the stuff of nightmares. Every. I had to stop. I had to stop looking at the images of what's going on in Afghanistan. I had to stop looking because they looked exactly the way disaster films and zombie films look. Like, you can see the terror on people's faces. You can see the desperation. is one thing if you're watching something that's scripted and you got extras acting
Yeah.
scared. It's a whole nother thing when you understand
Uh,
that you're watching a news
yeah,
channel.
because I want to show you. So this is the background of why people. So this is example. So instead of the school being funded for math and reading and stuff, so this is like a mosque that all the children in this local village are being forced to. So one of the people's daughters who wanted to be a doctor, but at the mosque school, she and all the other girls get only religious education from the local mullah. So the little time a visiting UNICEF teacher has for subjects for such as math reading is reserved for boys. When the
Oh, so
pupils
what
don't
you're saying is
behave,
they misrepresented, the whole girls and women's rights thing. They misrepresented that the whole time. Is
for
that is
what?
that? So they were saying that girls are not going to be able to go to school,
No girls,
and
girls do go to school, but they teach like whatever
right. But they were
ultra
talking about the
conservative
Taliban was going to take them out of the schools, but when
made
they were
up.
in the schools,
Yeah,
they weren't really teaching them anything of value besides what the whole.
no, they teach them to
Am
stay
I
at
reading that right?
home. No, I mean it is correct. I mean there's a lot of fear of like, I mean there's one politician who's the first woman leader of a political
Yeah,
party
she
with
says she's waiting to die.
yeah, she has survived multiple assassinations with her daughter and stuff like that.
Why
So
is she still in the country?
because people can't leave the country. Literally, you have like people are asking, like sending messages on Twitter, trying to figure out how can I cross the border. It's very difficult right now to get out the country unless you get like that militia, you get that private mercenary escort out, or
Some of the
like
people that
all
I've
the
talked
Marines are
to on the
looking for
subject,
you, huh?
they some of the people I talked to on the subject, they think that the politicians are cowardly for leaving the country, and it's like, the fuck? Like, what the fuck else are you supposed to do? Just stand there and wait for the Taliban to cut their heads off? Like, uh, like
Yeah,
what
exactly.
are you gonna be able to do?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a symbolic measure. There's also like to show that I don't want bloodshed. I don't want my blood to be spilled. I don't want blood to be spilled for my blood. So I'm getting the fuck out of here. So you
Like,
know,
what can I do with my dead body after the fact? I can't do anything. I'm dead.
so this shows you like, um, so they allow like assistant at the mosque. I just went to scare them. So this is a photo of a guy that's walking around with a stick, hitting kids so they can learn. So
Yeah,
some
I'm pretty sure when the Taliban rushes through, he's not going to be the one holding the stick. He looks like a fucking goofball.
So I mean,
Leave
who
the
else is gonna
girls
be
alone.
hitting kids with sticks? What else but a goofball? So so it shows you that, and that story is from 2015, and not only from 2015, it's a story of like years of like all this money,
Oh, so
almost
you're saying he's probably
750
already dead. Okay.
million, huh? Almost
So,
750
so I'm saying
million.
you're probably
Yeah.
saying that dude is probably already dead at this point.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, he's like taking pictures in the presidential palace right now too, like all those
Holding
photos.
an American-made M16.
Yeah, and flying the Black Hawk. Isn't that crazy? So
Finally, Black Hawk down. No,
So
that's
I
not
actually want to
how the movie
share.
goes.
So I want to share a video. We can check this out. So this video is not from like the crazy stuff that we've seen recently. This is actually from July, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, what happened? The Taliban just came out of nowhere." Dude, no, they were building up like a DMX music video. They were all gathering behind, like, "Yo, we right here." Like there were all this gathering coming out. They were like. If people in America, someone would even show this video to show that I'm not joking. Literally, that's what was happening. They were all this like marching down the street, getting guns and Hummers. Like it's because the American military just left the shit. We left our shit there, and they're like, okay, we take it, thank you. So I want to show you this video from July. It's surreal.
Taliban are on the march and gaining territory at an astonishing rate.
So this is like July
We've been
4th,
invited to meet them inside their
early
own
July.
base. They want to show us, as foreign journalists, how strong they are, and also how they're in no mood to compromise.
Is that an M60?
Yeah, that's not that come from
Other NATO
Afghanistan.
forces has emboldened them, and they smell victory. One commander in Wardak province told me they would never work alongside the other groups in government.
As a real Afghan, we would never do that because they are the people who are killing and kidnapping, who are thieves and who are corrupt. So we'll never work with them.
We're the first foreign journalists to see the latest army base the Taliban have captured.
This is how
in the
corrupt
province,
shit is over
and they
there.
want to show us
He
the
just lied
of
directly to
military
their fucking
riches they've
face.
seized with it. Many of these boxes
They got a
supplied
supply
by the
drop from the
Americans
Americans.
haven't even opened before the Taliban got hold of them.
RPG.
Whoa.
Like how much this shows you how much you give a shit about people. Like, I'm just leave all this shit so crazy people can get it and use it on your population. Thank you. You know, like,
Can anyone
And then when they
believe that the
use what you
Taliban
gave
wants
them, you call them a terrorist.
peace when you've got all these weapons now?
what a mind fuck.
Most of
the time we
So
don't
be careful
rely
with
on all
that,
of
man.
this.
It should go
We
off in
just
your
rely
hand.
on Allah. But it does help us a lot, and it's given us a lot of new weapons we can use in battle.
Treating that shit
Of
like
course
he's
we
building
want
like a
peace.
mop
All
stick or
people want
something.
peace here, but the government doesn't want
He's gonna
peace
play
with
pool
us.
with it.
From this base alone, the Taliban say they seized about 900 guns, 30 Humvees, and 20 army pickup trucks.
It's a whole pile of destroyed vehicles, military vehicles there, and a huge area that they've managed to take over. I think the Taliban will see this and view this as a substantial victory.
And it follows a nationwide pattern of Afghan soldiers putting up only a half-hearted fight. Many of the fighters we saw
I
were
don't even
carrying
think it's
new
half.
weapons seized during the taking of the base.
Yo,
USA.
that is American right
The
there.
white flag that signifies the Taliban takeover is flying in large swathes of the country right now, and they're creeping closer to the capital. Our journey en route to the Taliban was halted.
This is a crucial highway.
This is how peaceful it was. Just want to show people when they say
The
how
Afghan
peaceful it
army
was.
brought in
Just want people to remind you
reinforcements
people
to push
that.
them back.
Yeah,
The fact
we're
that the
killing you
Taliban got so
peacefully.
close from
Yeah, sure.
the capital.
Isn't there? Don't you have an
Showing
American
them
singer that says
they're
"killing you
making
softly"?
gains.
Killing you softly with this song. Killing you
The
softly
Taliban are
with
winning
this
the
song.
propaganda war,
this
able
gun
to
definitely
plant
sings a
and
song.
detonate roadside bombs with few reassurances from the government about how they're going to regain control.
So the
Instead, in Taliban-controlled areas, they blame the Afghan National Army for injuries and insecurity.
Yeah, I'm
We
pretty
saw
sure
no
of that.
women
Yeah.
at all out in public, although the Taliban insist they've progressed and want their girls educated.
Do you all
Yeah,
welcome the
educated
Taliban
on
being
what
here?
they'll do to them if they say anything.
Tell me why.
Because it's so much safer now. The Taliban have brought us security and peace, he says.
and it shows you the level of
He's like,
corruption.
if I
that's
don't say
happening.
this, I'll be in more than one piece.
It shows you the level of corruption and level of fear that people are living in, and also like how we didn't understand the culture. 20 years, there are all these experts calling on news networks, cable news networks, and every time you watch the video, like, huh? I didn't know this. Like, dude, we've been there for 20 years. What the fuck you think has been happening? Like, you know, it's like, this is CNN, this is MSNBC. So it's crazy to me that now this happened. Like, oh my god, we didn't know the Taliban was building power. Dude, they were having like a fucking comedy tour with fucking M4, with fucking huge M60s and shit. Like, they were like,
And you know what's really funny? You know, people, military experts have said that there's a reason why Afghanistan invasions of Afghanistan have failed. You know, Russia tried to invade Afghanistan. England tried in the past, and they all failed. You know, when they were, I guess, world powers in the area, and they were talking about how crazy the terrain is and how difficult it is. You know, just to get paved roads and things of that nature. And I got to hear all of this about that. And, you know, the United States is supposed to have the greatest military technology, but they couldn't cover ground. But the Taliban was able to just basically do a Usain Bolt sprint across the country. Oh, they showed up before we thought they would. Yo, they're traveling the same road you are.
niggas,
You're
they
supposed
walking.
to be the
A lot of
military
them are
power.
walking, nigga. A lot of them are walking.
And you're gonna tell me, you spent $2 trillion on this.
With
Oh my God,
drones,
we're the best.
with drones,
we're the best. We're the best. We're
with
number
people
one. We're the best. We're
parachuting
the
from
best.
planes. with all kinds of technological like insertion of bringing people to sites,
how
instructions.
many drone strike killings did Obama authorize?
He
Okay.
sparked them up. As soon as he got in the office, he was blowing people up.
Right.
More than Bush.
But you're gonna tell me, oh, I didn't know that they were gonna traverse this land so easily with our stuff. That what? But we can't get universal health care or college or anything like that. It's too expensive. But $2 trillion to train the Taliban to do more attacks on American interests. Yeah. Yeah, good job.
The Taliban paint themselves as deeply religious and say they're fighting for an Islamic emirate based on a strict interpretation of Sharia law. Like so many others, this former prisoner jailed by the Americans immediately rejoined the fight on his release.
The only thing that will persuade me to put down my gun is if there's Islamic law here, based entirely on Islam, and the government is run according to Islamic rules.
The Taliban resurgence appears to have real momentum, and that's worrying for the Afghan government and its international allies, who are now watching all the military hardware they handed over ending up in the hands of the group they're meant to be used against. The government is seen as weak and deeply unpopular in areas, particularly where the Taliban have managed to take a hold.
Can you work with any of them?
They are not anything. They are nothing. In this, we will destroy them. We are going to destroy our country. They come, they bring bad situation for Afghanistan, for our people, for our civil lives, for our country, for our schools, for our hospitals, everything. They're destroyed.
And this while peace talks are meant to be ongoing. And all the while, the Taliban seem to be growing stronger, and that will surely lessen their desire to do any deals.
So this shows you, like, we have like China, who's already ahead of the fall of Kabul. Like, we're negotiating with the Taliban. They're already everyone, like, you know. The thing is, people don't want all these people going over the country. It goes back to how we're like, it's crazy.
They want to create an alliance with the Taliban, but they want to persecute Uyghur Muslims.
Yeah, exactly.
How does that work?
Exactly.
How does that work?
But it shows you, like it shows you at the end of the day is about who's getting the money. We saw over 20 years that money was going to Afghanistan, but it was going in the pockets of warlords. It was going in the pockets of some like fluffy white guy in North Virginia, works at a military contracting firm. It was going, all that money was going to those people.
If I'm a Chinese person and I'm being told that the official religion of my country is atheism, and we're not going to tolerate anybody with a religious affiliation because you're worried about terrorism, and then I see that my government is making deals with the exact people that they are claiming that they're afraid that their own people are going to be.
Yeah. But at the same time, China negotiates in a way that, you know, allows them to, like, the people don't even know what the fuck is even happening in their own country. So they also have that kind of control over media and over messaging.
Man.
So
but then again, you know, what has our government done?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Like, it's easy to look at other countries and say, "Oh wow, they're so corrupt and they're so hypocritical." But then you look at our government and it's just like, well, maybe we should welcome the zombie apocalypse.
So I just want to show you guys. This is like a story. So it's just trying to share you guys stories about Afghanistan, of not this like the current news, but like just give you a reflection of the past month, the past few years, not this like scramble to try to figure out what's going to happen, because we don't know what the fuck is going to happen. But we can show you what did happen. There were signs that this cataclysmic thing was going to happen. Of people just hanging out with fucking American guns in abandoned bases. Eventually, some bad shit was going to start. It's going to happen. I don't know. I guess maybe it was going to be great. Maybe they're all going to take the bases over and be happy and like open strip clubs. What people thought was going to happen. So that's Black Power Magic Hour. This is Global Earth News. We're on Twitch, Twitter, on the Roku, on the Fire Stick, on
wait.
Apple TV.
Did you just say open strip clubs? Do you know what a strip club in Afghanistan would be like? It would be like a woman showing a little bit of her hair. Like
that's what we're saying. We're going to see how liberal the Taliban is trying to be. This is going to be interesting to see in the coming days.
ladies, you'll be allowed to show the whites of your eyeballs.
If the Taliban commander comes out, we're going to open the first strip club in Afghanistan.
Yeah, but again, what is stripping? Oh, you get to see like, my widow's peak.
You get to see a reflection in the mirror of it.
Yeah, you get to see the reflection of like me wearing a massive like mask and head covering.
So we get really
you in this strip club, you're gonna strip me of my dignity, but I'll stay fully dressed.
So we'll see what happens here. But we all know that when a whole bunch of guys walking with guns and promise peace, that doesn't sound like that's all I can say about that. So that's Black Power Magic Hour on Twitch, Discord, YouTube, and act.tv. 54,000 subscribers, and Dr. Virginia's live talking shit on Twitch, Discord, YouTube, and that's Global Earth News.